What if I told you that becoming financially literate in 2026 doesn't require a finance degree or years of studying complex investment strategies? The truth is, most financially successful people didn't get there through complicated formulas or insider knowledge. They got there by mastering a handful of simple habits that take less than 5 minutes per week to maintain. Today, I'm sharing 9 tiny money habits that smart people are using right now to build lasting wealth. And here's the kicker. If you can stick to just 3 of these, you'll be ahead of 80% of Americans within 6 months. Let's start with something that will completely change how you view every purchase you make. It's called calculating your true cost of time, and it's a reality check that most people never do. Right now, grab your phone's calculator because we're going to figure out what your time is actually worth. Here's what most people miss. Your hourly wage isn't what's on your paycheck. Let's say you earn $50,000 a year, working 40 hours a week. Most people would think that's about $25 per hour, but that's gross income, not what you actually take home. After taxes, you're probably looking at around $38,000. Then add your commute time, maybe 30 minutes each way, plus getting ready for work. Suddenly you're spending 50 hours a week for that job, not 40. Your real hourly rate? Just $15 per hour. Now, here's where this gets powerful. That expensive dinner you're thinking about, it's not just $80, it's 5.5 hours of your actual working time. That new car payment isn't just $500 a month. It's 33 hours of your life every single month. When you start viewing purchases through this lens, everything changes. You begin asking yourself, is this thing I'm about to buy worth the hours of my life I'm trading for it? This mental shift is what separates financially literate people from everyone else. They understand that time is the only truly finite resource, and they're constantly evaluating whether their spending aligns with their values. So take 5 minutes this week and calculate your real hourly rate using after-tax income and total time commitment. I guarantee it will change how you look at money forever. The second habit that smart people swear by is automating their savings before they can even think about spending it. There's fascinating research that shows automatic savers hit their savings goals 90% more often than people who try to save manually. And psychologically, this makes perfect sense. When money automatically flows to your savings before you see it, you never get the chance to rationalize spending it instead. Setting this up takes maybe 10 minutes, but it works for the entire year. You can either arrange it through your employer's payroll system or set up automatic transfers through your bank. Here's what I recommend. Start with just 10% of your take-home pay. So if you bring home $4,000 monthly, automatically move $400 to savings or investments. You'll be amazed how quickly you adapt to living on the remaining amount. The beauty of this system is that it removes decision-making from the equation. Willpower is a limited resource, and financial success shouldn't depend on having perfect self-control every single day. When the money disappears automatically, saving becomes effortless. If 10% feels too aggressive, start with 5%. The key is building the habit, not the amount. Our third habit is what I call the monthly financial check-in, and it's like a monthly physical for your money. Pick the same day each month, maybe the last Saturday or the 15th, and review everything that happened financially in the previous 30 days. This isn't about judgment or shame, it's about awareness. During this check-in, categorize all your expenses into 3 buckets: needs, wants, and savings. There's a simple framework called the 50-30-20 rule that provides an excellent baseline. 50% should go to necessities like housing, groceries, utilities, and transportation. 30% can be your fun money, dining out, entertainment, shopping. The remaining 20% should flow toward your financial goals. Now, don't panic if your percentages don't match perfectly. Maybe your needs are taking up 58% and your savings is only 15%. The key is identifying which expenses you can adjust. Your rent might be fixed, but can you negotiate your phone bill or switch to a cheaper internet plan? Even saving $20 monthly on utilities adds up to $240 per year. These small wins compound over time. If you live in an expensive city like San Francisco or New York, your needs percentage might naturally run higher. That's okay, but don't let it completely eliminate your savings. The monthly check-in creates accountability and helps you make conscious decisions rather than wondering where your money disappeared to. Habit number 4 is learning to distinguish between assets and liabilities, and this single concept will revolutionize your financial decision making. Every purchase falls into one of two categories: things that put money in your pocket over time, or things that take money out of your pocket over time. Your car is a liability. Every month it costs you insurance, gas, maintenance, and it's losing value through depreciation. That $50,000 vehicle isn't an investment, it's an expense that keeps on taking. Similarly, any loan represents an obligation to pay someone else, making it a liability. But what about a rental property that generates monthly rental income, putting money in your pocket? That's an asset. Dividend-paying stocks work similarly. They appreciate over time while paying you quarterly just for owning them. Even learning a valuable skill is an asset because it increases your earning potential. Before any major purchase, ask yourself this simple question: will this put money in my pocket or take money out of my pocket? If it takes money out, make sure it fits your budget and truly adds value to your life. If it generates income over time, it might be worth stretching for. This single question will change how you view everything from your smartphone to your home. The 5th habit successful people use is tracking their net worth quarterly. Just like tracking your weight when trying to get in shape, monitoring your net worth creates awareness that naturally drives better behavior. Your net worth is simply all your assets minus all your debts and liabilities. So if you own a home worth $300,000, have $50,000 in investments and savings, but owe $40,000 on student loans and $20,000 on credit cards, your net worth is $290,000. I used to track this monthly, but I found that stock market fluctuations made the numbers too volatile to be meaningful. Quarterly tracking gives you a longer-term perspective while still maintaining accountability. What's fascinating is that the median net worth for Americans is surprisingly low. A 30-year-old typically has around $8,000 in net worth. By age 40, it's only up to $65,000. These numbers seem low because many people focus on income rather than building assets. But when you start tracking your net worth, you become much more conscious about growing it consistently. Don't get discouraged if your starting number is low or even negative. The point isn't where you begin, it's establishing the upward trajectory. Every quarter, you want to see that number moving in the right direction, even if progress feels slow at first. Habit number 6 is negotiating one bill or service fee every quarter. This might sound intimidating, but it's surprisingly effective and takes maybe an hour of your time every 3 months. Look at your monthly bills and identify one that feels too expensive. Maybe it's your phone bill, internet service, insurance, or a subscription you're not using much. Call them during business hours and use this simple approach. I've been a loyal customer for several years, but this bill is stretching my budget right now. I've noticed competitors offering similar services for less. Do you have any options to reduce my rate? Don't threaten to cancel immediately. Give them a chance to solve your problem first. More often than not, they'll find some discount or promotional rate. Companies spend massive amounts acquiring new customers, so they'd rather keep you at a slightly lower rate than lose you entirely. If the first representative can't help, politely ask to speak with the retention or loyalty department. Different departments often have different authority levels. Even if you only save $20 monthly on one bill, that's $240 per year. Over time, these small victories add up significantly. The key is being polite but persistent and not accepting the first no as final. Our seventh habit focuses on the most valuable asset you'll ever own, yourself. The average American will earn between $2 and $3 million over their lifetime. If you can increase your earning potential by just 10% through skill development, that's an additional $200,000 to $300,000 throughout your career. That difference alone could determine whether you retire comfortably or struggle financially. I used to resist spending money on courses or continuing education, thinking I could learn everything free online. Sometimes that's true, but if you're working full-time or have family responsibilities, buying structured education might be the most efficient use of your time. The skills you develop are portable. They follow you to every job and can't be taken away during economic downturns. This doesn't mean spending thousands on questionable courses. Start small, maybe a book, an online course, or a professional certification relevant to your field. The return on investment for skill development often exceeds any traditional investment you could make. Habit 8 is starting to invest as early as possible, and the math behind this is absolutely mind-blowing. There's a famous example comparing two investors. One starts investing at age 22 and contributes for 10 years, then stops completely. The other waits until age 32, but then invests every year for the next 30 years until retirement. Assuming both invest $10,000 annually and earn 7% returns, the early starter ends up with more money at retirement despite contributing $200,000 less overall. The person who started early contributed $100,000 total, while the late starter contributed $300,000. Yet the early starter's account grows to over $1 million because compound interest had more time to work. If you feel discouraged because you didn't start at 22, remember this. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. Even $50 monthly is better than zero. You don't need to pick individual stocks or time the market. Simple, low-cost index funds that track the overall market have historically returned 8 to 10% annually. The key is consistency, not perfection. Start with whatever amount you can comfortably afford and increase it as your income grows. Compound interest rewards time in the market far more than timing the market. Our final habit might seem frivolous, but it's crucial for long-term success. Celebrating your financial wins, no matter how small. Financial literacy is like training for a marathon. It's a long journey that requires consistent effort over time. If you don't acknowledge your progress along the way, you might give up entirely. Think about video games for a moment. Imagine playing a game with no save points, no achievements, no level ups, and no feedback about your progress. Just endless grinding towards some distant finish line. That sounds miserable, right? Yet, that's how most people approach their finances. All sacrifice with no celebration. Instead, create specific rewards for financial milestones. Maybe you celebrate your first $1,000 saved with a nice dinner. Perhaps $5,000 earned you that watch you've been wanting. The key is making the reward proportional to the achievement and ensuring it doesn't derail your progress. When you celebrate financial wins, you're literally rewiring your brain to find saving and investing more enjoyable. This psychological boost helps you maintain momentum during the inevitable challenging periods. Financial success isn't about depriving yourself. It's about making conscious choices and acknowledging progress along the way. These 9 habits might seem simple, and they are. But simple doesn't mean easy, and easy doesn't mean ineffective. The most successful people understand that consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need to implement all 9 habits immediately. Pick 2 or 3 that resonate with you most and focus on those first. Remember, building wealth isn't about making perfect decisions every time. It's about making slightly better decisions consistently over time. Each of these habits takes just a few minutes per week to maintain, but The compound effect over months and years is extraordinary. And the people who master these habits don't just build wealth, they build confidence, reduce financial stress, and create more options for their future selves. They understand that financial literacy isn't about complex strategies or insider knowledge. It's about developing systems that work automatically even when motivation's low. Start with just one habit this week. Calculate your true hourly rate, set up automatic savings, or schedule your first monthly check-in. The path to financial literacy begins with a single step, and every expert was once a beginner who decided to start. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Which habit will you implement first? If you found this exploration of tiny habits fascinating, you're gonna love my next video where I break down exactly how ordinary people can start implementing some of these concepts. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss it.